Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar, joined alongside J-Dog, Camera One.
In person, we have all these cameras. We have all these people working on this shoot. We have lights. We have editors. We have sound. Mike, this is impressive.
We're here, and this is we put it all together for the audience because we are going to be winning money this season. I have odds for division winners, comeback player of the year, which will be in the second show of this. A lot of odds. I put a lot of money already on these teams that I'm going to announce to you. Some more than others. But I do like having money for all the division winners because it's something that you can root for towards the end of the season when you're out of fantasy, when everything's
most
done.
of your bets are crashing around you, you
Correct.
still have a random NFC South winner bet that you can hold on to. And when that's a Week 16 game and there's two NFC South opponents going at it, you're invested, and that's the life of a gambler. You can tell your wife, listen, I have a big Week 16 NFC South game to watch, and always have something else on hand. So tell us how you went through your research for this. You're a big ChatGPT AI person. Did you incorporate some AI models into this? Did you incorporate some of your own big brain? Did you incorporate some national predictions as well?
So, listen, there's a lot of information on the internet. You can go to a lot of websites. People are saying these are the better odds.
That is true.
But honestly, for like when we get to the comeback player of the year and MVP, it is literally just like throw a dart, pick a guy that you like, and stick with him for the season. The division winners are a little different. Obviously, there's some teams that are better than others.
Yeah.
Some teams that are really bad.
Yeah.
And some teams are really good. So sometimes there's easy money.
So let's identify the easy money. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go division by division, all 8 divisions.
Yes.
You have some predictions, some bets to make.
Yeah.
I, as a J-Dog takes on, I'm gonna fade some people in every division. I have some people that we don't want to bet on, and maybe they contradict. I'm
Hopefully
guessing,
not.
I don't know what your notes say, but I'm guessing I might shoot down some of your best bets just as a prediction.
All right, so we'll start in the NFC. We'll do NFC first.
Okay.
We're going to start with the NFC South.
What a terrible division to start with.
That's where I wanted to go first.
The worst division in football, right?
That's where we're going to go first. Now,
Okay.
if you are not aware, there are 4 teams that are pretty bad in this division.
All 4, yeah, 100% of them.
We have the Falcons, we got the Bucks, we got the Saints, and we got the Panthers. The Panthers are terrible. Now, the odds here, I want you to guess, like, who's at the top, who's at the bottom here in this division?
The Falcons have the best roster, so the Falcons will be at the top. The Bucks are close by. I don't think the Saints and whoever else you just said.
Panthers.
The
Yeah,
Panthers.
the Panthers
We can all forget about the Panthers. We're not watching their games this year. Hopefully we're not betting on them, or am I wrong?
No, we're not betting on them on this. I'm going to take, listen, I looked at this and I said, yes, the Falcons obviously are a better team. They got Kirk Cousins. They even have a backup quarterback.
They have 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they could have another quarterback that could really step in.
Yeah.
But I thought, listen, last year we had the Bucks really surprise a lot of people. Baker surprised a lot of people.
He did.
A lot of wide receivers. I don't know if you saw the list. I don't know if like Tyreek or somebody else put out their top 5 quarterbacks, and Baker was on one of those lists.
Top 5?
Top 5 for Baker. Baker was on a top 5 list on somebody's wide receiver list out there.
The Bucks feel the same way. They paid Baker in the offseason, so all eyes on Baker. It was so cute and fun when he's making no money last year and no pressure. Now they're locked in for 3 years, over $100 million guaranteed. So he better perform like he did last year, or even better to keep it going.
Now, I also would say sometimes being a division winner doesn't also guarantee that you're a good team, because sometimes like this division we saw last year, terrible.
Yeah, there's a few of those every year.
Terrible division.
Yeah.
So I went with the Bucks. They're plus 300 here in this division.
Are they favored? Did you answer that question?
No. Atlanta's favored. They're minus 114 currently.
Okay.
So I thought this was an easy one. Like, okay, we could look at it. They've mostly are still there. Baker got paid a lot of money. Can this be a season that they can win the division? I actually don't even know. I didn't do any research on who won the division last year. I didn't even think it mattered.
It was the Bucks. They won it. They hosted a playoff game, and they probably. Oh, did they win their playoff game? Mm-hmm. Did they win a playoff game?
Didn't they play?
They lost to the Lions the second game, so they won their first playoff game at home.
Yeah. Look at them.
Look at them. Winning divisions. I like the bet, so I'm going to start out with agreeing with you. We won't stay on this track for long, but I'll agree with you here. The Bucks are the smart money. The Falcons are the favorites. Maybe have the better roster, which means it's hard to put money on the Falcons with the 2 quarterback situation. I like betting on the Bucks there. I am fading the Saints, so I'm glad you didn't say the Saints. The Saints are in salary cap hell. Derek Carr is on one of the worst quarterback contracts in the NFL. People don't talk about it, but it's really bad.
Did you see, I think it was like a player on Twitter, somebody mentioned something as like they're a Saint, and they're like, we have no hopes to go to the Super Bowl this year at all.
A current player said that?
Yeah.
Wow, truth serum.
I don't think they're going to go. So
shouldn't say that in an interview.
I just think a lot of these divisions, when you look at them, like once we get to Kansas City and stuff like that, like sometimes it's obvious. Just put the money there, and it's free money.
It's true.
Hopefully.
So I do want to call out. Mike went to Tampa a few weeks ago, brought his whole family.
Yeah.
Clearly, you were influenced by the Tampa
Little
people
too
that you
much.
caught up with,
Yeah.
and now you're betting on the Bucks. We'll see what the playoff odds are. Maybe I'll bet on them there too.
All right, let's jump over to the NFC East. We have Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants. That is in the order of how good they are ranked for the stats here. So we have plus 100 for Eagles, plus 150 for Cowboys, plus 800 for Commanders. We do not need to talk about the Giants. But I don't know if anybody's been watching Hard Knocks preseason.
You said it was good.
I kind of like it. It's kind of like the ultimate
That
fantasy
was like
manager.
a month ago because now we're like in training camp. The in-season Hard Knocks has been on.
It's pretty good. I would say entertaining if you like to see the inner workings of a football team. I think it's a little more interesting than like the players. There's no characters.
The
It's
whiteboard
GM.
sessions went viral with all the quarterbacks and Brian Daboll.
Yeah.
I saw some of those. Brian Daboll is really hammering those guys.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
You didn't like that?
I don't feel like he has the position to do that, even though he is the head coach.
Like he doesn't act like a head coach? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was a little too like. It seemed like yes, you're testing these guys, but I didn't appreciate it too much.
Which might be a bigger problem for the Giants. I know you said we're not talking about them. We are not Giants fans. We are not betting on the Giants. But I'll just give you a Sports Dramas prediction
Give it to me.
before we reveal your bet for this division. Drew Lock is going to inspire the Giants this year. Drew Lock, your boy from Seattle,
Former Seattle Seahawks,
will start
former
games.
Denver Bronco.
He's been
as
around
well.
the league. He will start games for the Giants, and my prediction is he starts more games than Daniel Jones
Wow.
this year. And the Giants, I'll say inspired. I'm not going to say they're going to win with them. They might lose like 35-28. They'll be inspired by it.
I would say go watch. I really appreciate the GM. Like they told the story of the Giants GM, how he came up scouting players and did all the research. I like his. Really.
Mike, you just said we're not going to talk about the Giants, and now you want me to watch a show on the
I know.
Giants?
I'm just saying. I felt like the guy really knew his stuff, and he was very like direct. Like, listen, Saquon, we're gonna let you like test the market.
Yeah.
If you get something, let us know.
Smart
We'll
move.
try to match it.
Yeah.
I don't think that happened, but
He didn't match it.
Didn't match it.
that Eagles deal.
all right. So I'm going with the Eagles. I think this is easy money.
You're going with chalk here.
Yeah, I just felt like it was easy money. Like I don't have confidence in the Cowboys. I never do. They can never really get to that point. Usually they're like a nice 500 team. Commanders, too many new moving parts over there.
Yeah.
And obviously the Giants,
Can't bet on that.
they can only win maybe, I think over under on them is like 5 or something.
You've never been a Cowboys guy for as long as I've known you.
No, I can't do it. Dak, no good. He's you love him. I know you're a Dak
I
guy.
used to love him. I'm starting to fade him. He's not my fade right here. It's just that you never loved the Cowboys.
No.
They can be okay. CeeDee Lamb is back. But I don't know what they're doing with Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy. So in general, I agree with you.
Zeke's back too, by the way.
Which is crazy. Is he our age, older than us?
Whatever he is, he's not too good.
Pushing 40 like we are.
Yeah.
Just want to mention the Eagles offense is who I'm fading in this division. I hate the investment in running back in Saquon Barkley. They
Wow.
overpaid while the Giants got better by letting Saquon walk. I know Saquon was a huge part of the Giants offense. The Eagles already have this built-in offense successful without Saquon. The idea that they're going to stop passing the ball, stop giving A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith touches to feed Saquon, I don't like that idea. They're at their best when Jalen Hurts is running himself and slinging it, so I'm fading the Eagles. I don't like their offseason investment.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I do think it is easy money for the division because I feel like there is no confidence in the rest of the teams. In this
Maybe
division.
Mike McCarthy's fired midseason and the Cowboys get a spark and win the division. That's what I'm thinking for the other side, but that's a bridge too far. Jerry doesn't really do those highly emotional things.
He only goes after things he loves. That's it.
Yes.
All right, NFC West, we have the 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals. I went homer here.
Wait, does that mean you bet on all the teams? Because Mike loves this division. He loves every team in it.
I did.
At one point, you rooted for every team in the
did.
division, so you bet on all of them.
Listen, I went through it. I said, of course the 49ers are going to be this good.
course.
But I didn't want to bet on them. I said,
Really?
let me bet on the Seahawks. Let me bet
Really?
on Sam Howell, the feistiness. They're undervaluing the team. They still have DK. He's still there.
He's still there.
Sam
Tyler
Howell,
Lockett's still there. Also an
Yeah.
old man. Still there.
Yeah, he's still playing.
Yeah.
You know, he's a big real estate guy. He's really investing in his retirement.
What do you mean?
He's a real estate agent and buys homes and sells homes to people
In Seattle.
in Seattle.
He has time for that?
Listen, he's trying to just make sure his other career after he's done is set up for him.
I appreciate
yeah.
it, but I also want him trading a little more when he's selling houses, maybe.
Probably doesn't do the full selling. Probably has a team to
Got a
help
team.
him out.
He
But
just comes in for the close.
yeah. Listen, you're going to get the Seahawks at plus 700 here.
That's really good value.
Great value to win the division. Now, this doesn't mean 49ers are going to be bad. 49ers might have a harder road to the path to win this division here. I just think Seattle, little undervalued. Now, you could also make the same thing for the Cardinals. Maybe they're a little undervalued. You could get them at plus 1,300.
No one's betting that, right? No one. You wouldn't even recommend that.
I would not recommend it, but if you think they're undervalued and could win the division, what's going to win the division this year in the NFC West?
That's a good division, so it's going to be like 12, 13 wins. The Cardinals have a 0.0% chance of winning that many games this year, so I wouldn't advise people to put their money on that.
And Seahawks always play all the division rivals pretty close, so I like that division a lot for this.
Mike, I love the bet, and I agree with you. My Sportsadamus for this is not only does Sam Howell inspire like Drew Lock with the Giants, Sam Howell, we're going to take it a step further. He's going to lead them to the playoffs.
Whoa.
They might win the division. I agree with you on the Seahawks bet to win the division. Maybe sprinkle some wild card money on them too just to cover yourself.
Whoa.
Either way, obviously the 49ers are a tough team. I think the Rams take a step back without Aaron Donald.
We don't
Matt
believe in
Stafford,
Yeah.
he's not happy with Sean McVay. It's like a divorce. They were so in
Something's
touch. They
happening.
won a Super Bowl, and now they're divorcing. The defense isn't the same. The Seahawks are clearly the second best team in the division, maybe the first if the Niners fall back. And you gave me confidence by saying you're not going to bet on the Niners. You love the Niners. You love Brock Purdy. You love them every year.
I do.
If Mike's going to say that, we need to listen and bet on the Seahawks.
Listen, I was right the year when I said Russell's going to do terrible in Denver, and he did terrible. No one wanted to believe
You're
me.
a Seahawks insider, which is impressive because you haven't been to Seattle in a while.
I haven't been to Seattle in a while. All right, let's do NFC North. We have Lions, Green Bay Packers, Bears, and Vikings.
Yeah.
This was a tough one for me. You know I don't love...
We don't love any of these teams, you could say.
Yeah, these are teams I don't love to watch.
Yeah.
I always
wait, you were a Dan Campbell guy last Hard Knocks. Was that last year or 2 years ago?
That was the year they didn't make the playoffs, I think. Yeah.
Biting kneecaps, was it not last year?
Listen, the dude knows how to pump people up and get them ready for football.
Yeah.
I went the opposite here. You know, I'm not a big Jordan Love guy.
No.
I decided that I'm going to put it on the Green Bay Packers at plus 210.
Wow.
I thought the Lions could maybe take a step back. A lot of hype on them. I also feel like the teams that do really well the previous season get a much harder schedule the next season.
That's true.
And I don't believe in the Bears enough. The Bears were not on my radar. Like, I don't care what's coming out of the camp
Tell us
now.
what you think about Caleb Williams.
I think he's going to be bust. The biggest bust in the NFL history.
What did you think of his whiteboard session with Brian Daboll?
It was all right. He didn't seem that confident. I mean, he did, but not in like...
Not as confident as Drake May.
No, Drake May was. Yeah, he just kind of went up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't feel like... Are they ready for that? Do they know they're going to be quizzed on like hot routes and switching up?
Yeah, it's like a job
to Z?
interview. I think that's their job interview.
But how do you learn? Because I always felt like in college, you don't learn NFL offense. So how do you know like ZAB, like change the Z to the H, and now we're going to go over here?
The plays might not be the same, but a lot of the terminology is. So like Z and A positions, I think, are receiver positions on the field. And Caleb Williams was running an NFL offense at USC. A lot of these colleges are advanced to the point at this point. They are running NFL offenses.
By the way, I know we're recording this in August, but NCAA came out in July 16th.
Have you been playing?
Amazing game.
You love it.
I mean, what I see coming so far, it looks good. It looks
Okay,
good.
you're not gonna like go in depth on that.
No,
right now.
No.
But you've been loving it. Highly suggest
yes.
purchasing it, and we'll talk more about that in a few.
Yes, I would say go Green Bay Packers here. They're plus 210. Doesn't feel like easy money, but listen, if you bet on every division, what a wild ride to the end of the season.
Yeah,
What a wild ride.
something's cooking all
Something's
season.
gonna happen.
You're gonna be alive for something week 18 is the bottom line.
All I'm saying is I have to hit one of these. That's all. I have to hit one.
That's true. I like the bet. I like not taking the Lions. They spent over $200 million on Jared Goff. This is a guy who got run out of L.A. where we are. We don't forget that around here. He's not a good quarterback. He just happens to be in a system that rewards him.
I don't think we ran him out of here. I think we just did not want him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But we didn't
sent him away.
We didn't push him out.
We won a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford after he left.
Yeah,
that was great. It was
yeah.
a great swap. Not a Jared Goff guy. I think the system is great. Mike, I just heard Amon St. Brown was dealing with hand, foot, and mouth disease in the offseason. Another reason to short the Lions. We don't want to bet on the Lions here. My prediction for this division is also not the Lions, but it's not the Packers. Sam Darnold leads the Vikings to the playoffs, just like Sam Howell takes the Seahawks there. I'm a Sam Darnold guy, and I know they took a quarterback in the first round. J.J. McCarthy, probably not ready to be a pro right away. Sam Darnold should play this whole year. I don't want to see J.J. McCarthy. Justin Jefferson is still there. O'Connell, the head coach, is talented. I think they might be the best team in the division.
I got something for you in MVP. If you like Sam Darnold, could be a good play for MVP.
I wasn't going that far, but
listen, if they're going to take him to the playoffs, wouldn't Sam Darnold maybe be...
Sounds like Sam Howell and Sam Darnold.
I guess Sam
Big
Darnold
Sam guy.
could be a comeback player of the year, which I got to check if I have those odds.
Wasn't he playing decent for the Niners when Brock Purdy got hurt?
I don't think he ever played decent. I think he was all hope and hype of like, oh, if Sam Darnold plays in the Super Bowl, they're gonna win it all. It's like
everyone loves a backup quarterback when your number one's not great. I'll just mention I'm fading Gen Z quarterback Caleb Williams, just like you are.
Good, I like that too. All right, we're moving over to the AFC.
Let's do it.
We're gonna start with your division, AFC East.
Okay.
Why don't you start here? Give me your fade first.
Let me tell you this. Looking at this division, I struggle with it the most because it's like I don't love any situation in the division.
All bad situations.
All 4 teams are flawed. Like much like the NFC South,
Can I give
there's
you the
a lot
odds
of
real
flaws.
quick?
Sure.
Bills plus 169, Jets 189, Dolphins 199.
There's no minuses.
We don't have to talk about the Patriots.
There's no minuses here. There's no real favorite. It's like a toss-up among those 3. I am fading 3 things in this division.
3 teams.
3 things, which in terms are teams. The first fade is not a surprise. Aaron Rodgers, where you been this summer? Have you been a leader for this team? Doesn't seem like you've been around. You've missed some training camp. Last time we saw a video of him, he wasn't getting around well on his Achilles. He took his sock off, was examining things. I know he's been in training camp. I don't know for sure if he's healthy right now at this moment. I just don't like the idea of the Jets succeeding. I think it's going to be another Aaron Rodgers drama there. I'll mention the Patriots without Bill Belichick are going to be in for a rough season. The Krafts are in charge. What does Robert Kraft's son know about football? This is a Jerry Jones situation developing in New England, that this idea of a businessman is running an NFL team. I don't like it. They're not going to be good without Belichick. And then the Bills. I like Josh Allen a lot. All of his weapons are gone. They departed. Steph Diggs, Gabe Davis, the running backs. No one is walking through that door. It's all on Josh Allen's shoulders, which is really tough. So I didn't fade my team, the Dolphins. I faded everyone else. I don't know that they're going to win the division, but I faded everyone else.
I want to say this. I think the Dolphins, when looking on paper, you would say they are the best out of the bunch, right? They still remain a lot. They have a lot of their weapons still.
I wouldn't say that because they haven't won the division in many years. So it's
they haven't won the division in many years. But this year, Josh Allen, no more weapons. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers coming back from an ACL tear. I don't know how 45 years old, however old he is.
Who's their backup? Couldn't even tell you. They even bring in a good backup.
New England Patriots, not going to work. We got Drake May out there, rookie quarterback. We don't believe in that.
So you're doing it. You're betting on the Dolphins.
Betting on the Dolphins.
Oh, my God. Stop the podcast.
Betting on the Dolphins.
You never do that.
I just felt like there's no other way. Like, the odds aren't good enough to even, like, I would say, sure, I'll take the Bills if they had worse odds, but they're giving me odds that are equal to the Dolphins almost, or Dolphins are better.
Yeah.
Give me the Dolphins.
The Dolphins might have a sexier roster than the Bills.
Yes.
The Dolphins lost a lot on defense that they did not replace. And it's always hard in the offseason to kind of gauge defensive moves like that compared to all the stars that move around on offense. The Bills lost a lot on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. Hopefully the Dolphins defense can hang in there. We saw they melted last winter as they usually do. They're great in September.
They're great
in
the
summer
months.
And then they go in December, and they're going to Green Bay on Thanksgiving night. That scares me already. They go to Buffalo late in the year. Their playoff games will likely be against AFC teams on the road. So I don't like the Dolphins like succeeding this year. I'm not like confident in the whole situation.
Sure.
But I think you have a point on the division. Everyone is flawed, so why not the Dolphins?
Now, you could make a case for the Jets. I don't want to stay too long in this division, but you can make a case for the Jets.
What's
saying,
the
like,
case? Because I can't.
that they were so bad last year, they got a higher draft pick, and maybe they could also like move. They have some talent on the receiver end.
I think you said it best. They were so bad last year. How'd they get better this year? Did they add a bunch of guys? I know you don't have their list of additions in front of you, but I don't know who they added.
In front of me
I can't tell you anyone they added. They added Garrett Wilson as their receiver. He's been their receiver.
Yeah, I know.
Did they bring in more of Aaron Rodgers' friends?
It was Zach Wilson too.
They got rid of him. Addition by subtraction.
Yes, yeah. They had him last year, and he didn't play well.
I don't like anything about that franchise and what's going on with them.
All right, so Dolphins it is. All right, AFC North, we have the Ravens, Bengals, Browns, and Steelers. Now, I've been hyping up our mutual friend. He's a big Steeler fan. Love that Russell's over in Steeler country.
Yeah. Now, our mutual friend, and a lot of Steelers insiders, including our mutual friend's father, who listens to our show much more than a mutual friend, Big Lou. Shout out. He might be excited for Justin Fields. You might be excited for Russell Wilson. So what's going to happen here where you have a guy, they have a guy? What's going to...
They're both on one-year contracts.
Yeah.
Right? So both of them most likely will see the field this year.
You think?
I don't think Fields will make a big impact because I think I think Tomlin is a good coach, and I think he can find weakness in players, and I think Russ has still got a little juice left. If Russ could sign like a 3-year contract after this and take him somewhere, they could get another quarterback back up. I mean, they had terrible quarterbacks like Mason Rudolph and all these other guys. that all the Steeler
And
fans
they still
love.
went 9-8.
Yeah.
They just always do.
So hopefully they do better this year. But I'm not putting my money on the Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm doing the Cleveland Browns.
What?
I just think
Not Deshaun Watson.
I think Deshaun. I think this is his year.
What?
I know it's been a long time.
Mike.
Listen, I'm getting
This is advice you're giving out?
6-1 odds on it.
Oh, they're not favored to win the division.
Not
are they?
favored. Baltimore's plus 130. Cincinnati's plus 125, 145. I just kind of like how good they did with Flacco last year. And if Deshaun can actually like step up and play well and run around and throw the ball again, we could see something. I want to hear what your fate is, but I'm putting my money on Browns this year.
I'm surprised to hear it because Joe Flacco's not walking through that door. I'd be more confident in
somewhere
them.
else.
No,
Yeah.
I'd be more confident in them with Flacco quarterbacking than the $175 million man, Deshaun Watson, who they guaranteed all this money to.
He's got to play well.
I don't know that he will because Jameis Winston's there. And that might be the guy who makes your bet hit.
Oh, all right.
Jameis
Okay, I like
Winston
that.
is
All
the
right.
backup
Yeah.
quarterback for the Browns, which I just love the idea of that.
Is that your kind of fade? You're gonna fade Deshaun?
No, it's not. My fade is actually the Steelers. So shout out Big Lou. Shout out mutual friend.
Right. Shout out.
A long time ago, I learned when you have 2 quarterbacks on your roster, you have 0 quarterbacks on your roster.
Okay.
And the Falcons will face this at times. The Steelers will face this. The controversy won't be good for anyone because neither guy will play very well.
Hopefully the Seahawks don't face this.
No, Sam Howell will take control
Okay,
of Geno
okay.
Smith. I think they're going to hand the keys to
Gino's
Sam
in
Howell.
retirement phase.
Yeah, I'm on board with the Sam Howell, Sam Darnold. They'll
Okay,
take
good.
the situation here in Pittsburgh, I just don't know if it's a good quarterback situation. I think neither will play very well. There's a reason that Denver is paying like $50 million of Russ's contract to play for the Steelers.
Well, they fucked up on their contract.
They did, but they also are paying him to leave town, which not everyone is willing to do. Justin Fields and the Bears, they also gave him away for nothing on draft day or around the draft. And so both quarterbacks were run out of the town that they were in, which signifies to me they're not going to turn it around. Maybe Mike Tomlin is a good coach. I don't think either guy's going to save it. I think all season long you're going to want the other guy in there, trying to get the other guy to play. I'm not bullish on the Steelers. I'm fading them.
Okay.
But I would bet on the Bengals, who you didn't talk about. You didn't talk
talk
about
about
Joe
it.
Burrow and the
No.
Bengals. And Joe Burrow's coming off the wrist injury. It's a tendon. It's in his throwing hand. There's a lot of scary words to think about there. How about this? He always struggles in September, Mike. This happened last year, and I saw a great quote from him. It takes his eyes 3 weeks of regular season ball to warm up for the rest of the season. And so if his wrist is a little sore or limp or not completing passes in the first 3 weeks of the year, people will be off that train. They'll be 1-2 or 0-3.
Okay.
They're going to give up on him, and that's the time. On October 1st, put your money on Joe Burrow and the Bengals because from October through December, they're going to go on a run. They're going to win the division.
Okay. I'd
What
like
do you
to see. I don't believe it solely just because I feel like that's an injury that could kind of flare up again. Just kind of like start.
Yeah, you've had a lot of injuries over the years, you know.
Well, also, my wife, Erin, she's been holding the baby a lot in her wrist. So much pain. There's nothing you can do to fix it either. There's no like injection.
Purple tunnel? What's
It's called
going
like
on?
baby hand or something where like her like wrist is hurting. I just think a wrist injury is bigger than you think because it's so little and it impacts so much, and especially when you're a quarterback.
Wow.
If you're a receiver, I feel like you can get around it a
Well,
little
it
bit.
impacts a lot.
So I'm just questionable on his recovery. I know he's been playing piano a lot this offseason
I didn't see that.
to heal his wrist, to help move his wrist around. A lot
He
of
does it
piano.
all, doesn't he?
Does it all.
So
All right,
talented.
let's jump over to the AFC West. We have
Okay.
Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos.
There's one team that's good in this division, and the others are not. So I bet you looked at this division and thought, man, I want to take someone other than the Chiefs. And you studied it for a few minutes, and you determined you got to bet on the Chiefs.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no other choice. I almost wanted to bet on the Chargers. It was there. I felt it a little bit. But ultimately, I feel like it's free money. Just bet on Mahomes. I know he's having a third kid.
Yeah.
I don't love that a lot
No.
because that's impacts some sleep a little bit.
Tell us about it.
It impacts it a lot.
He might have more help than you.
He might. I just think this is easy. They're going to win the division. It's like the Patriots for like 10 years. They won
Yeah.
the division every year. This is the Chiefs right now. They're going to win every division.
Generally, I think you're right. But a word of caution is at some point the Chiefs are going to have what we've been having on this show for 15 years. A hangover, a sports hangover, a Super Bowl hangover. They can't keep doing this. They can't keep playing an extra month more than everyone else every single year and getting away with it. From what I see, Travis Kelce is gallivanting around Europe, dancing with Taylor Swift in Amsterdam and London and wherever the hell else they are. That means he's not on the practice field catching balls. Patrick Mahomes is not in Europe throwing him passes. I guarantee you that.
I think he was with them out in Europe.
Are you
for a
serious?
little. Yeah, I think so.
I just guaranteed it.
Listen, I think sometimes, Jeremy, when you're really hard in work and you take a nice little break and you come back, you're rejuvenated.
What's that like?
And I think Kelsey, he's coming back. He's going to rejuvenate it, and the schedule works out perfectly. I don't know if you saw the schedule. Lines up perfectly with Taylor's tour dates that she can almost come to, I think, 8 or 9 games this year.
I don't think that has to be a thing this year. When we're watching Chiefs games, I don't think we need the Taylor Swift.
You don't want the Taylor Swift cam?
Maybe once or twice, but I think that was a very much new relationship, new girlfriend. Like going forward, just a little less maybe.
Okay, it just feels like the king and queen of pop culture basically are playing, and they show up to the game.
It's true.
Feels very like royalty
Regal.
for some reason.
It's
Yeah,
regal.
it's weird.
She's in her royal box.
But yeah, we're betting the Chiefs here.
I don't want to. They're gonna have a hangover, but they'll probably win the division. Patrick Mahomes also has a dad bod in addition to being a father of 3.
Yeah.
He's been eating a lot of ice cream apparently in the offseason.
Same.
Yeah, how's your fitness? How's your
It's not
physical
great.
routine?
It's not great.
You gonna go win a Super Bowl?
Maybe. I mean, Patrick
Maybe.
Mahomes can do it.
You were probably betting on the Chiefs. I agree, but I don't want to.
Okay.
You do have another team in this division you like. You should tell people about them.
Who do I like?
You like what Sean Payton's cooking up.
Listen, I do have money on the over-under of 5.5 wins for the Denver Broncos, but it's over-under 5.5
It's
wins.
small.
I'm rooting for them to win 6 games.
It's not a lot.
I did put, I think I put $100 on them to win over 5.5 games. I'm not like 100% in, but I also do love, and Sportsstradamus predicted this, that Zach Wilson will have a rekindled career in Bronco country.
He's engaged. He got engaged this offseason. Did you see that?
Yeah, I know. I know
He's
how he's
not,
doing it.
He's not banging the mamas anymore.
Yeah, I know. A lot of mom
He's off
banging.
the mama
Yeah.
game. I want to say something about the Broncos. My
Okay.
Sportsstradamus prediction is Sean Payton will rotate through several short white quarterbacks looking for the next Drew Brees, and he won't find them. And that includes Zach Wilson. That includes anyone else they have over there. Jared
Bo Nix is
Stidham.
there?
Bo Nix is there.
Bo Nix, yeah.
The Italian quarterback is there.
No way.
I think so.
DeVito?
I think so.
He's there too?
Maybe a different Italian. So they have like 4 or 5 short white quarterbacks. That's Sean Payton's thing. It's his
It
little
is.
fetish coming from the Saints with Drew Brees, trying to recreate it. Turns out Drew Brees might be just one of a kind, and you can't recreate a 5'11" quarterback to be in the Hall of Fame. He's gonna have trouble with it. I don't think they actually reach your over, so I don't like that bet.
I hope they do.
I think they're like really bad, like 2-17.
I've never put so much money on futures, but it makes me excited because I just want to forget what I bet on. So by the end of the season, I can start rooting after all the
Listen to this
gambling's over.
podcast, and you'll remember everything.
All right, let's do the AFC South.
Yeah.
We got Texans, Jags, Colts, Titans. Another division I just don't love to watch.
Nope, not really watchable. I agree with you. I thought you liked Anthony Richardson. You were a fan
I
of
do.
him last year.
I do. There's a lot of stuff coming. A lot of guys you're mentioning might be on my MVP watch
Oh,
list.
and that's a separate episode.
Yeah, next
also.
episode.
I want to mention Anthony Richardson. His nickname has changed this offseason. Whatever it was previously, maybe it was Hurt Anthony, whatever you want to call him. He's now Thick Rich because he's
Thick
put on
Rich?
a lot of weight this offseason, and I don't know how that's going to help him passing the ball. Maybe running, he might be a little
He's a big
tougher.
dude.
But he's
I
not going
love
to be
it.
faster. And he
know.
ran so much. I just want to see more passing from him. So all that is to say, I am fading the Colts and Thick
Okay.
Rich. I hope the Colts are not your bet here.
So listen, last season, these 3 teams, the Texans, Jags, and Colts, I think it was all these 3 teams, were all in a 3-way tie for
right.
the division.
They were like all mediocre at the top.
All mediocre. Yeah, one of them needed to beat one of them at the end of the season. This season, though, I think it's the Jags season to win the division.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence got paid? You like that?
Trevor Lawrence got paid. I don't like what they did with some receivers over there.
Calvin Ridley left.
Yeah, I know. He went to the Titans.
He did.
The retirement home in the Titans. Everybody retires over there.
Yeah.
I like the Texans, but I think a lot of hype on them. I think they'll be really analyzed a little more this season. CJ Stroud coming into his 2nd year. I like what he did last year, but I just don't want to commit too much into that.
You don't?
No.
I like what the Texans are doing. They brought in Stephon Diggs. They have Tank Dell. There's another receiver there who's really good. I like the Texans.
I like them, but I just don't think they'll win the division.
Really?
So I'm going with the Jags this year. I feel like we always kind of downplay the Jags. We don't know what's going on. Anthony Richardson, technically, this is kind of like his first year playing as NFL quarterback because he only played
Like 5 games, right?
Or less. Yeah, it was only a few weeks.
Yeah. Well, he's thick rich. He'll make it more.
Thick Rich will be good this year. So that's it. So that we did all our.
Well, wait. I just want to mention
Oh,
you're
yeah.
betting on the Jags to win the division. I'll tell you who's going to lose the division,
Who?
and they're also going to have the #1 overall pick next year. The Titans are that bad. I was looking
Oh,
at the Titans
wow.
roster, and it's that bad.
It's bad.
Calvin Ridley is their only serviceable player, and like
Yeah.
you can question things about him, like betting on his own team and getting suspended in the past. There's no one good there. They replaced Derrick Henry, the thumper, with Tony Pollard, who's like older and not as strong. Don't like that.
No.
Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis are still there, like not fixing the QB situation.
Just a retirement.
They ran Mike Vrabel out of town. Mike Vrabel was a good head coach.
Great
It's
head
like
coach.
everything I'm telling you is a negative for their offseason. The Titans, not only am I fading them, they will be the #1 overall pick next year. They'll be the worst team in the league.
All right, good. That's a good bet. I wish you could actually fade
Can we bet that? Oh, I'm sure we can bet #1 overall pick.
Yeah, you probably could. I gotta look at the odds. Sometimes they
do
update it a little later.
do that.
I don't use the legit sites, so I gotta find a.
Don't
good-
tell us.
There. All right, good show. We'll be back next week. We're gonna be doing Super Bowl odds, MVP odds, and comeback player of the year.
Love it.
So good. See you.
Season's coming.